Oh, you gonna dunk on the bitch?
I ain't no nigga. Okay?
Oh, I left a bag of dicks for you to eat in the locker room.
Well, your breath smell like you already ate a bag.
Well, that's okay, but you can tell your mom to eat that bag of dicks, all right? Is that cool for you?
Right.
Is it too late to say I'm sorry, man?
Is it too late to get your hairline done?
How about you hairline these nuts, nigga? How about that?
And now that it's over, I'll never be sober. I couldn't believe, and now I'm so high. And now I'm so high.
And we are live, semi-ish. Welcome to another episode, Unfiltered Bachelor. I'm your unfiltered bachelor. Ugh, I am your unfiltered bachelor. I've been drinking. Blake Money, Blake Weather. Welcome to the series breakdown for Atlanta, episode 5. Nobody beats the Biebs. Joined as always with my co-host, your friend, your favorite. You'll love him. Maybe you hate him. I don't know. It's Jeff. What's up, Jeff?
What's up? You really should hate him. He's an asshole.
Fuck that guy. I don't know why I have him on the podcast. Dude, okay, so I was just going to say, I love this episode that we're on. Nobody beats the Biebs. And I didn't pay attention a lot to, nor somebody should, if you're just watching it the first or second time. Yeah, you don't pay attention to the fucking titles, right? But all these titles, again, it all comes full circle, and it all goes to, you know, it all means something. So I want to read some of the.
Let me actually interrupt you real quick.
Okay.
Because, I got a little bit of trivia that it's kind of related to the show because it's related to Donald Glover, but it's not really Atlanta based. But so earlier today, I was just, reading a comic book. I was reading one of my favorites, Miles Morales' Spider-Man. Which, if you ever saw, the latest, the animated one, Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
I was reading that guy's comic. So I don't know if you know this, but after the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, they were getting ready to make the second Spider-Man movies, which they made with Andrew Garfield.
Yes.
But there's a huge online petition for Spider-Man to be Donald Glover.
I remember this.
And obviously Sony didn't do that. They went with Andrew Garfield instead. So here's the cool thing. Marvel thought that idea was so good, they made a Black Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Mm-hmm.
So Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man, is based off of Donald Glover. And then if you ever saw Spider-Man Homecoming,
right,
Donald Glover's got a cameo in it.
Yeah.
And in the cameo, he's talking about his nephew, who really looks up to Spider-Man. In that cameo, Donald Glover is playing Miles Morales' uncle, Aaron, who is the direct reason why Miles becomes Spider-Man.
Damn.
So that's just a fun little bit of trivia. And actually, speaking of that trivia, and me reading the comic books earlier, during this time of the coronavirus and the lock-ins and all this stuff, I actually want to do a quick shout-out, if that's okay.
Okay.
There's an author for Marvel. His name's Donnie Cates. I wouldn't mention this because he wanted it to be anonymous, but then some jerk comic book store in town made it public. But Donnie, this guy who writes for Marvel, he paid for the pull lists for everyone from 3 comic book stores in town, just as a little thank you and give it back. And I mean, I don't know about you, man. Like he did, Awesome Books of Comics, Dragon's Lair, and where I go to get my comics, Hops and Heroes. Which if everyone go to Hops and Heroes for your comics. But I just think that during this whole time of coronavirus and oh God, we're all just stuck inside and everything. I don't know. Those little bits of happiness, I think, are fun to share.
They go a long way. They don't go unnoticed, I think, is what you mean. And that's beautiful, man. I think that's fucking awesome.
But yeah. But the main thing about that, I just thought that the Donald Glover Spider-Man was a fun little bit of stuff that the comic book universe did.
Yes. For those that didn't know. And a few other things for those that didn't know.
Sorry to interrupt, brother.
No, you're good. So directly tied in with this. First of all, these are all off IMDb, but I think it's fucking great, man. So FX was confused by Glover's plan to make an episode centered around Justin Bieber, thinking at first that he wanted to cast the real Bieber in the part. The show's motivation for casting a young black actor as a white Canadian singer was twofold. One part was to give a black actor the chance to play a role he'd never get cast in otherwise. The other was to explore how Bieber's often controversial behavior and the public's reaction to it played differently when he wasn't Caucasian anymore. That's fucking great.
Dude, it's brilliant, but real quick, the part about it is we also, when this episode starts, literally, you know, they're hanging out and they're talking or whatever, and Ern just goes, "Oh, hey, man, look, it's Justin Bieber." And it just pans over to this black kid walking in, and
were you
you're
confused?
just sitting there, you're like, so...
Were you confused as I was the
there
first
was a
time I
rapper
watched
named
it?
Justin Bieber.
Yes, well, you know what? It took me... Well, I'll get to it, but it caught me by surprise. That's what I'll say for right now, because I've got a lot to say
100%.
about that from the first time that I watched this. So 3 other tidbits we'll get into. And again, I believe this was another Hiro Murai episode for sure. He loves directing. The fake Justin Bieber song was written and performed by Donald Glover himself. So that one at the end, you know that I'll always be better. Or whatever, you know what I mean? You know that it doesn't matter. That's Justin.
It could have easily passed as a Justin song, but it also sounded a lot like a Michael Jackson song.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought of when I heard the song. It sounded like a Michael Jackson song. But then, as I listened to it,
I did just check and confirmed it was Hiro Murai this episode.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Hiro Murai has directed 5 episodes so far. He's directed all 5 episodes so far this season.
Countless music videos, man.
Of course, we could get into that. Atlanta R&B artist Lloyd makes an appearance in the Celebrity All-Star Game. I don't know if you know a lot of Lloyd. Are you a big Lloyd fan? I'm a big Lloyd fan.
I am not.
So Lloyd, obviously, he's an R&B singer. Obviously, you know him best from. Or anybody who maybe doesn't know maybe Lloyd's work of art. If you just know Childish Gambino's work of art, you heard the song Oakland sampled in Telegraph Ave, but that is that is a real song actually.
Amazing.
Oakland and Lloyd is an amazing fucking R&B artist. A lot of people know the song, him and Lil Wayne, you know, I Can Make Your Bed Rock. He sings that song. You know, he's a
Wait, Blake.
What?
Which Wayne?
Brady Gretzky. What other Wayne you know, man? Dave. What other Wayne you know, man?
I had to.
The other bit, while Ern is getting a drink from the bar, one of the wine bottles is titled Joshua Tree. The episode was aired the same day that Donald Glover announced a concert in Joshua Tree, located in California. What's that?
Which Glover did that on purpose.
Oh, for sure. Everything's calculated with DG, man. Everything's calculated with my dude DG. Here's what I was going to say though. This episode, if it doesn't catch you off guard immediately, because Justin Bieber is black in the episode, and I'm not saying Justin Bieber cannot be black. What I'm saying is in your head, if you watch a TV show and so you hear a name of a celebrity. A lot of the celebrities that are in here, they are legit, and you're like, oh yeah, that's who they are in real life. Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen is fucking. They talk about him in the last episode. He's a white dude, right? Like everything is set up to where this joke pays off. That is like, and it is a joke. I mean, they talked about they didn't get Donald Glover's vision. It's a surrealism. It's surrealism as its finest. And in this universe, Justin Bieber is black. Bingo. Boom.
Well, so the part where it really got me, and I didn't think about it until I read that trivia, was there's a scene where, they're getting ready to go on court and everything, and Justin Bieber is just sitting there, and he's literally just peeing on a fucking wall with a security guy standing right next to him. And my thought was, what a piece of shit. And the thing is, and let's be honest, and this is why they did it. Because if Justin Bieber did that, the security guard would just stand there and pretend like he doesn't notice anything. Right. But if a black guy did that, which is what's happening in the scene, in reality, a security guard would beat the shit out of him.
That would not. I think it's the. It is.
And that's the point.
Yeah. The element is, you can be I think you can be a certain level of this famous, and it doesn't matter the skin tone, but also that gives way in this world for Justin Bieber to say the N-word anytime he wants to. And he does it so much. And he even puts an ER at one of them, man. He puts an ER on one of them.
He does a hard
R. A hard R on one of them.
To quote Childish Gambino, he says it with a hard R. You know? I mean, at least according to that trivia that we read, the point was, look at all this ridiculous shit this guy's doing. If the real Justin Bieber were black, you wouldn't have let him get away with all of this and get to the point where, you know, he could get away with anything. Like, it's just like, no, it's just, that's not how it would have worked.
Right, but he's acting like a little shit. Like, he's acting
like...
Oh,
absolutely.
He's acting like the little shit that he is.
Now, I do need to say this. I don't like Justin Bieber's music. Never have, and I'm never going to.
I do.
Two, I have hated Justin Bieber for so long. Hate's a strong word, but I've hated him for so long because I just thought he's a pompous little shit. I've come off of that a lot. I think that I think real Justin Bieber's grown a lot and all this stuff. But the way that this actor perfectly portrays like 20s Justin Bieber, just do whatever the fuck he wants and doesn't give a shit about anyone. This actor pulls it off perfectly, I think.
2016 Justin Bieber is this kid right here. The little shithead.
Yeah. And that's the thing. This kid, I'm amazed by how good of an actor Ern is and Darius is and Al is. But like this kid, he's in one episode and he does his job perfectly. You know, he plays the perfect role.
Yes. It's great. It's so cool, man. It's so cool that they gave this person the opportunity to be able to play a role like that, right? Like what Gambino said, this kid would never get to play a role like this where he gets to be this like pompous little shithead supposed to be white person, and like in this series he's a black person, and in this here he's still doing the same. Like he's taking what, like, you know, like obviously like Justin's known for like being a little shithead and like, you know, just making his neighbors like, you know, driving up and down on the fucking streets and like making it hard to live around him.
Doing whatever he wants, you know,
just doing whatever the fuck and he does all of that in this small ass surrounding, right? It's like as soon as he walks in, he fucking dumps all the fucking lanyards, and then he goes over there and he leaves the interview, and then he like fucking he pees on the wall.
Fuck, before he leaves the interview, he's literally just putting his hands on the interviewer's face and shit. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, man?
I thought it was fucking funny.
Dude, you know what?
But like I got the surrealism of it's extreme.
They even get his costume perfect. I mean, right at the end of the fucking episode, he's wearing jeans and a white t-shirt with a flannel over it, you know?
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of little low-key references, and we'll get to them. I was watching...
It's insane how much that they think about in this show. I mean, I know it's Donald Glover, and is this episode Hero as well?
It's a Hero Mariah episode, you said.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I know it's Donald Glover, and I know it's Hero, and I know they always put so much into everything they do, but it's still just so insane to me how many hidden messages they put in everything. I mean, subtext is rampant throughout these, but at the same time, say you're not that person who wants to, like, you know, really dig into it. You can watch this and enjoy all of the surface part of it just fine.
Yeah, you ain't got to...
It's really crazy.
You ain't got to dig in on shit. Just leave it to us. We'll dig in on some shit for you, man. So before we get too off base, let's do our top three. Top three, what sticks out to us. For this one, man. Bro, Urkel's playing basketball. Bro!
His best cameo since Psych, bro.
Oh man, bro, Urkel's playing basketball, bro. Okay, Paperboy, for my money, is doing what?
Hang on, I feel awful about this. What's Urkel's real name? Because I know he hates that everyone just knows him as Steve Urkel.
Man, it's Steve Urkel. That's his name, bro. It's Jamel White, I think it is. Jameel White?
Yes. Yeah. It's Jameel White. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know it, but like, bro, it's Urkel. Come on, bro.
I know, but then be like meeting Donald Glover and be like, "Yo, what's up, Ern?" And be like, "Yeah, cool. Okay, leave me alone."
No, fuck off. You know, like, Urkel know he's Urkel, bro. Come on, man. He ain't gonna pretend. Paperboy is doing what we all thinking. With Justin, he is the voice of the audience in this episode, for my money. right? Like he's fucking like
he's the only one who sees it for what he is.
Yes, he's a piece of shit. He's a little fucking shithead. He even like, for those who don't know, like where's Lloyd at? Lloyd is the R&B singer. Lloyd is actually the character when Paperboy sees him ping in the hallway. He's like, what the fuck is this, man? And Lloyd's like, man, he's just trying to like. He's just learning, man. You know,
he's just trying to find himself. Man.
He's just trying to find himself. That's Lloyd, man. And when I saw him, I knew, I'm like, that's somebody that I know. Like, I know that fucking face. Like, and then turns out it's fucking Lloyd. It's a fucking cool ass. I think it's a cool ass cameo, bro. Because he is from Atlanta. I don't know if you knew this, but he is from Atlanta. He shouts out Atlanta a lot of his songs and stuff like that. But
you know, it's funny because we talked about how Glover will bring in a lot of people that he likes and stuff like that. But I mean, like literally he and Lloyd did one song together.
Well, he
brings it back into the show.
He didn't really do it. I mean, he sampled the song, right? Like it wasn't really like the song was already recorded before Gambino did it. Gambino heard it and it inspired him to make Telegraph. And it's so cool to give an homage to him and like to kind of like be like, bro, we did that. We had that kind of like that song I sampled you, bro. I'd love it to come on the show. And I'm sure Lloyd was like, fuck it. It's for Atlanta. It's called Atlanta. Because everybody involved in the especially celebrity, I think, involved in the first of the season was like, what is this show going to be? What is this even about?
Right.
Because I don't know if you remember the trailers either, like for this. I had to do some research. Nobody knew what the fucking show was about, dude.
Well, like I told you, I didn't know about the show until season 2 was about to come out, you know?
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Hey,
go ahead, man.
Here's a question. You might know this. Is it filmed in Atlanta as well? Because it feels like it is.
I believe it is. As far as I know, okay. I believe it is.
So do you think Glover was just kind of in Atlanta, filming in a season and was just like, huh? Hang on a sec. Bring, bring, bring. Hey, Lloyd. Yeah, it's Donald Glover. Hey, what are you doing Tuesday?
Yes,
do you want to like come? Do you want to drive like 4 blocks over?
I'm exactly sure if it didn't go down like that, it was probably like he was like probably like telling his manager, he's like, call his manager right now. Yeah, get Lloyd on 3-way. Yeah, Lloyd, it's Glover. Like, listen, pass me your phone number. You want to be on the show? I'm doing the show. And I'm sure Lloyd was ecstatic to do it.
You're in town, right?
Right. Oh, we're in town right now. Funny enough, we're down the street. But yeah, it's one of those moments. It's just a really cool cameo.
Ran into him when they were filming at JB's.
And that's a crazy thing about this episode, right? Like, or that's a crazy thing about the show and about being a celebrity. If you remember, and about just being a fan of this, like, people didn't know what it was about. The trailers weren't about anything. It would just show people walking around in Atlanta. You have no idea what the hell you're getting into. And so oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it was very liquid. It was very experimental.
Yes,
the trailers, which I love, by the way, because so often trailers just give away the entire fucking thing, and all like. So often you'll have a trailer that's like, oh, that was every good joke in the show.
Right.
Thanks
for giving it away, guy.
Not the show.
The other thing I enjoy about this is, or enjoyed the other thing that sticks out to me outside of, again, Paperboy being the voice of the audience and doing, he is us. We want to punk Justin Bieber. He wants to punk Justin Bieber. He is our guy. He is our guy in this episode. And also the third thing that sticks out to me is how the execs think Earn is all this, because he's just in the right place at the right time, and it's all about image. And he is now being a part of Paperboy's world in that facet, in that capacity, and he's experiencing it from this whole nother place.
So what that said to me was, it was something very similar, but just a little bit different. What I got from that was, and we've been talking this entire time how Earn is, God, he's down on his luck, but Earn is smart. Earn is so fucking clever, and Earn can get it done. And what this whole thing said to me was, you see Earn, and he's up there, and he's talking with the execs, and he's not just holding his own with them, he's succeeding. And that told me that as long as Earn got that chance, then Earn can get it. Earn will succeed. It really pointed out how good Earn is. I don't know if I'd necessarily say at being a manager, but at reading people and talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
Earn, I thought a lot. Honestly, I thought a lot about you and how well you can just kind of come off to someone, how you can meet someone, you can get to know them real quickly, and you can just keep up with them, you know? Mm-hmm. And Ern's really a lot the same in that. And it also kind of pointed out to me how the whole manager world, like managing talent, how like, man, as long as you can read people, you can basically get this done.
You can get it done, bro. It's so we call this adaptability, bro. He's just
it's what they say. It's not about who you know. It's not about what you know. It's about who you know.
Yeah, and he has to be at the right place at the right time, and he gets involved in this whole 100%. Subplot where somebody confuses him. But I want to know your top 3 things stick out to you for this episode.
So,
and there's one. I'm going to say there's one I didn't bring up because I thought you're going to bring it up, but I want to hear your
Darius shooting a dog.
Yeah.
So for those of you listening, Darius doesn't shoot a real dog. Darius is playing out so fucking funny. So first off, Darius, you know, so you got Ern and Paperboy at the game, and then it cuts to Darius just kind of waking up, putting his shoes on, getting ready for the day, and he pulls what looks like a poster, you know, tube out. And then he just walks out. And then it cuts back to the basketball game. It does a bunch of stuff. Then it cuts to Darius at a gun shop, and he's at a gun range, and he's just talking to the guy, and he's the guy's like, oh yeah, just this gun's got a little more kick, and Darius takes the gun and gives him his ID, and then Darius and his gun and his poster tube, they walk towards the gun range. Then it cuts back to the game. Then it cuts back to the gun range, and Darius is walking back, and everyone's shooting at their targets. And Darius goes into his stall, and he puts up his target, and his target is a goddamn dog with the little circles with the points on it. And I got a couple of things from this. First thing I got, Darius is a god-awful shot. He's the worst, man. He doesn't hit. His best shot is the 5 ring, and that's not good.
It's like on the tail, like
it's like the upper shoulder or something. But he's clearly hit it by accident. 2, it's so funny because then you get these guys coming over and they're like, "Hey, what the fuck do you think you're doing?" And Darius is like, "Huh?" Like actually, at first Darius doesn't hear him, and the guy goes, "Hey, I said, what do you think you're doing?" And Darius goes, "Oh, I'm just shooting, like everyone else." And they're like, you can't shoot at a dog. And by the way, my favorite part of all this is the dude's upset and talking at Darius. They got themselves one of them hardcore, southern accents.
It's
and hey, boy, you can't shoot at that dog.
It's that Georgia accent. It is that Georgia accent.
Hardcore Georgian accent, It's just so fun. No, you can't shoot at no fucking dog, all right? And I loved it because Darius just goes, no, you don't get it. The dogs in my neighborhood, they're bad. They're rabid. They're attacking people. And the guy goes, I don't care. You can't shoot at any fucking dog. It's just not right. And Darius goes, what's so wrong with that? Look at this one. And he points. Someone's shooting at a cutout of, it looks like the old 40s dad, with the sweater and holding the pipe.
Right.
And it literally says dad on it. And Darius goes, that's way too fucking specific.
Yeah.
But the part that I really took from it was, well, why is it so much worse to be shooting at and once again, this is all just a cutout, And he's like, he points out, why is it worse to be shooting at a cutout of an animal than a cutout of a human?
Right.
And that's a really good point. He even was dude, people are shooting at cutouts of people. That's really messed up. And he goes, well, why would I shoot at a human target? I mean, that's weird, right? That's literally what he just said. I just caught it off the screen. And he pulls out this really good point. And then some guys come over that start defending him. And these guys they're
Middle Eastern, bro.
Seemingly Middle Eastern.
Yeah, that's clearly what they are, and it's clearly what it reminded me. I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off, but it was these white
conversation,
these white generic country people talk like this. I'll tell you what, good old Lord country. I'll tell you, versus
just a good old boy.
Just a good old boy. I tell you what. Versus it clearly comes to this. They are on one side. these Middle Eastern people who are like, bro, we can shoot whatever we want. We can do whatever we want. Don't worry. Like, you know, he can shoot that dog if he wants to. Like, this is a free country.
Yeah, but then,
but clearly,
but there he goes.
Clearly the visual
kept
of this
down too long. We've been kept down too long. We will not take it anymore. The blood will spill. And then Darius just goes, I'm not saying
all that. Yeah.
He's asking Darius's defense. And it's like, oh, right. No, that's a good point. These guys, like, yeah, look, they think they can just walk all over a minority, and then they keep talking. It's like, nope, these are terrorists.
Well, I was just going to say, though, like the beautiful thing about the visual of this, it's clearly Darius is in the middle. He's caught between this, like, it's clearly the point, like, artistically and visually and whatever other way visually that you want to count it, is he is caught in the middle of this, like, hey, I just want to, like, shoot things. And I also just want to shoot things like in the freedom of the way that I want to shoot things. I just want to be normal. I just want not normal, but like I just want to fit in with everybody and do like what my surroundings are. But also, I have this right to shoot whatever the fuck I want, and like it's not a big deal. Like I don't understand what the problem is. You know what I mean?
So you know, while these guys are talking, Lakeith Stanfield, the guy that plays Darius, does such a perfect job of non-verbally displaying what's the word? He shows a way of being of uncomfortability, you know? Uncomfortableness? He shows that he's clearly uncomfortable with the route this is all taking. But you know what the big thing I took from all this was? Then when it reaches this creepy fever pitch of Redneck saying you can't shoot a dog, Darius saying, like, well, why would you want to shoot a person?
Yeah.
And seemingly terrorists. All of a sudden you hear, and there's a fucking shotgun in Darius's face, and it's the shop owner. And he's going, that's enough. All right, you got to get out. And he's like, and he goes, I warned you. I told you, you know, that you can't start shit. And you realize he's talking to Darius.
And not anybody else.
And he's kicking Darius out.
Not anybody else.
And the thing is, Darius had a cardboard tube when he walked in. This guy had no idea what was in it. He didn't know it was the dog outline or shootout. This guy just, one, assumed the black guy was the one causing the trouble, but also, two, clearly assumed before all this started that the black guy was going to cause trouble. And it's just like, how fucked up is that, man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I know I keep saying this about Darius. Did you also notice how Darius took it all? He's like, oh, okay, yep, just, all right, and we're going. And, you know, like, he's just like, okay. And he starts walking out. And he just calm. He's like, oh, hey, sorry, just, you know, my ID. You still got my ID.
Right.
And the guy hands me the ID. And then the funniest part about this entire exchange, he goes, hey, can I get the dog poster?
Get the hell out. Get the hell out. Okay. Yeah, he's very go with the flow, man. So that's your number one. What do you got for 2, 3?
For 2, it comes back to the Ern being in this meeting thing.
Okay.
But it's not so much the fact that you know, when Ern gets the chance, he's able to, he can do it. It's the entire reason Ern gets this chance is because this white lady sees him and thinks he's a different black guy.
Alonso.
Holy shit. I think it was Alfonso.
No, it was Alonso.
Alonso. That's what it was. But literally, she's walking behind her and she's Alonso. and then he turns around and he's like, oh, and she's like, Alonso. And you can see he's clearly about to tell her, like, I'm not Alonso. And she's like, come, let's go to the VIP area. And he goes with her and everything. But she's clearly got beat. She ends up getting the shouting match with him and everything. And she starts yelling at him and all of this. And eventually saying, like, I know that you turned on me. By the way, I think this is supposed to be a reference to The Godfather. I know it was you, Alonzo.
You broke my heart. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, Alonzo, whoever Alonzo really is, clearly like betrayed her, started talking to her clients and shit. And she goes, I know it was you, Alonzo. And starts just going off on him about how she's going to take everything he has and blah, blah, blah. Eventually even ending it with, I'm going to make sure you die homeless. And, but then she even gives him the little peck on the lips, which I think is also supposed to be a callback from The Godfather, right? The kiss of death.
It could be, man.
I mean, that's how I took it. But and you know, at that point, Ern just goes, "I'm not Alonzo," and she's just like,
that scene that scene's actually playing right now.
And it's just like, holy Christ, how racist is this woman that she just thinks he's a completely different guy? And I don't know. I assume this is the point of it. I don't know for sure, but I assume the whole point of this was to be like, she clearly just thinks that he's another random black guy, you know? Like, she can't tell the difference, but like she thinks that every black guy looks the same or some shit, you know?
Yes.
But the biggest takeaway I had was one of the last lines in this episode. So you remember Paperboy when he walks in, he sees that news reporter, and he tries walking up and talking to her, and she goes, sorry. And so actually this brings up a different point while I'm thinking about it, but this entire episode for the Paperboy and Ern's side revolves around a charity basketball game for Atlanta Youth Outreach.
Yes.
And is it weird to anyone else that the guy who made it, Paperboy, by shooting someone was invited to this? Like, Paperboy didn't reach fame because of his rap. Paperboy reached fame because he shot and presumably killed someone, and they invited him to the children's charity to play basketball.
The irony of it all.
That seemed odd to me. But at the end, so he's trying to talk to the reporter in the beginning, and she's clearly not having it. And she's like, I'm not into the gangbanger lifestyle. And he's like, oh, that's not me. Maybe you should get to know the real me. She's like, whatever. And then Justin Bieber walks in. She's like, oh my God, Justin Bieber. But at the end of it, when Bieber's given the "I'm so sorry for what I've done" press conference, Paperboy sees her and he walks up. He's like, "Hey, I just want to say I'm sorry for what I did out there,
Yeah.
Sorry, I needed to hydrate. Because he got into an actual fight on the court with Justin Bieber, and he's like, I just want to say, I'm sorry for what I did out there, and I really want to let people know that's not who I am or how I see myself. She goes, whatever. And she's being so just dismissive of him. It's just so fucking rude. But I mean, at the same time, you could tell that Paperboy's just kind of trying to get with her, and she's clearly not enjoying it. But he's like, so maybe you can interview me sometime, and we can let people know the real me, Right. And she goes, "Can I give you a bit of advice?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, what's up?" And she goes, "Play your role." And he's like, "Wait, what?" And she goes, "People don't want to hate Justin Bieber. They don't want him to be the asshole. They want you to be the asshole. Just be the asshole." And I think that was important for a few reasons. I think, one, what a bitch. Two, I mean, she explained the reality of the situation, though. There are people that, like, the public wants to love, and there are people the public wants to hate.
Right. And,
so literally it's playing right now. People don't want Justin to be the asshole. They want you to be the asshole. She goes, "You're a rapper. That's your job." And it was just so horribly dismissive of all of it. And once again, I think it was a reflection of how the public looks at these sort of things. They want the pop star to be the icon, and they want the rapper to be, the gangster, the hood, I mean, if we're being honest, they kind of point that out from at least episode 2 on. The reason Paperboy's getting the recognition he is because he shot
somebody. Dude, you know what? Like the reporter points it out. Justin Bieber, when he walks in, he's like, "Oh, you that dude that shot the other dude, huh?" Cool.
Yeah.
That's the first thing he says to Paperboy. It's not like, oh, you're Paperboy. I don't know you. He's basically saying, I don't know you by name. I just know you in the context of you shot somebody. Cool.
Absolutely.
That's it.
But I think the other thing, and I think the lasting point of this is, you can tell Paperboy like takes that in. And from the way I saw it, at least this episode, not talking about anything that comes after, from how I saw Paperboy react to her at the end of this episode, I kind of thought I saw a mix of resignation and decision. I saw it as Al decided, you know what, then fuck it. I'm not going to try and be a rounded out person. I'm not going to try and be a real person outside of Paperboy. I'm just going to be Paperboy. And I felt like he came to the decision of, you know what, Paperboy is going to be he's going to be that guy that shot someone. He's going to be that for lack of a better term, thug.
You gotta like,
and I wonder if this interaction.
I was gonna say after this, he's got to own it. You got to own it. Like you're fighting it. You're fighting it. Yeah, I'm not that dude. I'm not that dude. I'm trying to protect kids. I'm out here for the outreach. I'm out here, like I'm not that.
Yeah,
I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not that. Just fucking own it. And maybe when you own it, what will happen when you own it? You know what I mean?
So I wonder, I saw it as a lot like, that first episode, Ern's getting ready to text Van, but then we get the call from Al, and it's kind of like him hitting the fork in his road. I felt like this was a chance for Al to kind of have a fork in his path as well. Is he going to be true to himself, or is he just going to embrace the fact that being that thug, that gangster that shot this guy, that's what's getting him attention?
Right.
So,
yeah,
I mean, that's how
that's a powerful three.
I thought I saw Al as kind of seeing that, and just like as in Dave, we see Dave going more towards Lil Dicky and less toward and being less of Dave. I think in this episode, I think that was the point where Al decided he's going to be more Paperboy and less Al.
Yeah, it's like a pivotal moment, and again in the next episodes, I think we'll see. We look forward to seeing like what the takeaway is from that interaction right there. One of the other things I want to point out too, low key. So you're not a Justin Bieber fan. I'm a Justin Bieber fan. I love Justin Bieber. I haven't always loved him. Like I wasn't always like, oh my God, I'm not a believer, but I'm a fan of Justin. Like there's a lot of work that he does. It's like really good. But I respect the hell out of him. What's interesting about, and that's perfectly, he makes great music, but like that's perfectly fine. But I also probably love Bieber because he's a huge Floyd Mayweather fan, and he's always in Mayweather, like always walking out with him. So like I got a lot of love for the Biebs, being as my nickname's Money Blake. But
I mean, I still can't believe that Floyd stole your nickname.
Bro, one of these days, we're working on it in court. But so there's a double, there's like two things I want to point out. So one, Justin Bieber has a song called "Is It Too Late to Say Sorry?" Is it too late to say sorry? That song is actually about a breakup, and it's directed to, I believe, who was he dating? Selena Gomez or somebody? Yeah, the Selena Gomez. See, I mean, you might be a believer. Maybe Jeff low-key a believer.
No, I'm 100% not. I just know about him.
Jeff low-key a believer. We're going to make a believer at you, before too shortly. But so there's a line. Where's the end button? Goodbye. But there's that line. So in this reality, that song is still a song because if you remember when Paperboy's talking shit to him, Paperboy asked him.
Oh yeah. Oh, I actually did catch that.
Paperboy's like, "Is it too late to say sorry?" He's like, "Is it too late for your hairline?" When they're talking shit, that's one of the most like funniest, like well written, like shit talking moments. Because you know what? If I've talked, like I've been in instances with like friends of mine and shit, and like that like grew up with me, like not on like. You don't grow up with white people and talk shit like this. White people talk a different kind of shit. You know what I mean? This is like shit talking shit. Like This is like some shit that like, you know, this so-and-so looking ass, you know what I'm saying? Like you looking like a pumpkin looking ass, you know what I mean? Like that's what I the fuck grew up with. And that's the fuck what this reminded me of, man. Like just the shit talking one another. He's like, some about the tell your mom I left a bag of dicks for her back of the locker room, you know what I mean? And he's like, your breath smell like you ate a bag of dicks.
I think it was, I'm gonna give you a bag. I got a bag of dicks for you to eat in the locker room. Then Bieber was like, "Smells like you already ate one of those bags."
Well, tell your mom I got one for her too.
Yeah, I got it from your mom.
Yeah, like they're just talking shit. But so the little nod to "Is it too late to say sorry?" on into the nod of, and I didn't even catch this till just now. Justin Bieber's wearing the number 23. Fuck you, because that's Michael Jordan's number. Fuck you, man. Oh, that makes me hate the fictional version of him.
Outside Chicago. Trust me, I know that.
I know. But for the people,
anyone who says his number's 45 deserves to be shot.
Someone's wearing 45 in this episode. And then also
when Jordan came back after Dad died, he wore 45 for a while.
That's right. I remember that.
I know.
Oh yeah, but also, so the nod to where Justin is apologizing in public and making a song out of it and like doing it to quote unquote his benefit is exactly what he did with the song "Is It Too Late to Say Sorry." He actually turned this like whole public debacle of like him, and he cheated on Selena Gomez and was out, and he turned it into a fucking song. And then everybody like, dude, I remember how big that song was. It's still a fucking huge song. Like you play it and people fucking know it. Like, but it was like a public apology through song. And it is blatantly like clear with the Justin Bieber character that we have on the show at the very end that like this is the surrealism. It's to a point. Like it's art based on life. You know, like how people life based on art, based on life. This is art. Art interpreting life. This is shit that happens.
I think there's also a good point where. So you have to wonder this entire time, like, is this supposed to be like the Justin Bieber that we know? Is this supposed to be Canadian white Justin Bieber? And you're kind of wondering the entire episode. Excuse me. And I think until he does that apology, like, so is it too late to say I'm sorry? It's like, that's one of his songs, you know? Is it supposed to be that guy? And I think it's at the end when he does that little press conference to say he's sorry thing where like, yep. Yeah, that's supposed to be Justin Bieber.
Really
we all know.
Yeah, that's some shit he'd do, man.
Yeah, that was like where I was like, "Yep, that's supposed to be that guy."
It's so great. It's so great, man. I love it. I love everything about this episode. This is actually, in fact, so far, of all 5 so far, this is one of my favorite episodes. And in not getting too ahead of ourselves, but of season 1, this is one of my favorite episodes of season 1 because I love the basketball part, and I love Paperboy kind of being a little gutter, man, in front of all these people, in front of all the public, like he's being some Paperboy shit. And then I love, of course, all the trivia that I learned about this episode. So for me, this is one of my favorite episodes.
Oh yeah.
And so far that we've gone through, and probably when we get to the end of, and we're getting there, man, of season 1, when we get to the end of it, this will still probably be in my top 3 favorite episodes of the season. How did you love this episode, Jeff? Give me your afterthoughts real quick.
There were so many funny things done done so intuitively. Like, once again, the Darius of this episode. I mean, at first it's just, if you're just not really kind of digging into it, it's just this funny fucking thing that happens. But then when you reflect on it, it is showing that racism of it all. And it does it in such an interesting, thought-provoking way. And I really, really loved that. Another thing about this episode that I think this episode is supposed to show the subtleties of racism.
Yes.
With the Darius of it, the guy automatically assuming Darius is going to be the problem, with the lady just clearly thinking Ern's a different man. Yeah. And then honestly with the whole idea of like, well, if Justin Bieber was black and acting this way, how would you react to it, you know?
Yes.
I think I literally just realized it as I was saying that.
That is the theme of this episode.
I think this episode's entire point is to show the subtleties of racism.
Yes.
But one thing that, just because on my side they're cutting back to the basketball game, one of the things I love about this episode, and I know it was just a simple, funny little way of doing it. How many sponsors do you think they made happy with this episode? Because they, instead of having to like find a clever way to slip it in, they just showed it as a sponsor of the charity basketball game.
It's so fucking smooth, man.
Like you got Rockstar and Zippo and all that
Yes.
shit up top. So it's just supposed to be their sponsors of the charity basketball game, but I guarantee they're sponsors of the fucking show.
Bro, they have liquor sponsors, right? You clearly see there's a Crown Royal bottle. The chick asked for a Bushmills. He asked for a Hennessy with the Grand Marnier. Like, bro, like there's all kind of like shout outs to the, like a whole bunch of
banner I just saw.
What's that?
I just saw a banner for a pizza place. It's the pizza place that fucking what's his dick from last episode?
Zan works for.
Yeah, Camelli's. Yeah, it's Zan's pizza place. Is one of the banners.
That's badass, man. I love that.
Dude, they have so many little throwbacks and clever things. I know we say it every time, but Jesus, they put so much thought into just the little things.
The detail goes.
Yeah.
The thought of detail, man. I love it. Jeff, man, this was a great episode. I'm happy that we did it, and I'm also sad because we have to end it. But like, because we can't talk about it. We have to move on. We have to move along. Do the move on with your life, right? Like the move on with your life. But where can? Yeah, for those that missed it, there's a fucking dance. Where can people find you, Jeff, if they want to talk to you more about Atlanta or Little Dicky or whatever else it is you're doing during quarantine?
People can reach out to Blake, and Blake can introduce us through Facebook. That's how they can reach me.
That's a clever way to do
Other
it.
than that, you can stand 6 feet away from me and yell hi, and I'll yell hi back.
He's like, I might tell you hi. I don't know.
It depends. If I'm not going to say hi.
Guys, you can follow the podcast Unfiltered Bachelor, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify. Just type in Unfiltered Bachelor. You can follow me, Money Blake, whether Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Tell your friends to tell their friends, and we can be friends when it comes a part of the Atlanta series. If you guys are Atlanta fans, if you guys know Atlanta fans, have them take a listen to this episode. Like it, share it, write a review. That's how we make the show grow. Yes, I did that on purpose. Show grow. I'm a rhymer. And what's up?
Whatever you say, DJ Seuss. Seuss.
But I definitely appreciate everybody listening in, tuning in, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you listen to this. I hope you're avoiding the Rona. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you love the show. And until the next time, we will see you. Peace.
Girl, what's your problem? 'Cause I know it's hard sometimes. Baby, just give me some time. Ooh, on and out, girl. We can solve them. If you just give me some time, I can open up your